Hello, everyone. Welcome to week 2 of Israel Education in the 21st Century. I'm sure you're gearing up for the Passover holiday, and I wish you the best of luck in your preparations. And I hope that, and I thank you for taking the time to take part in the module nonetheless. So let's get started with week 2, where we will be moving on from defining Israel education to actually trying to implement a framework for Israel education in the North American day school classroom. This framework can be used in formal settings, informal settings, and I believe is a very effective tool, albeit not the only means to accomplish the goals of Israel education. In order to approach the issue of teaching Israel in the classroom, we need to understand where our students are currently situated. In order to do this, we will make use of a tool developed by researchers at Makom, which is an Israel engagement network, part of the Jewish Agency, a project that was developed in order to facilitate Israel education in the diaspora. This analysis that we are going to go through in this lesson is multidimensional and takes into account both knowledge of Israel and engagement or connection to Israel. And this is a comprehensive view of Israel education as both studies as well as engagement. Okay, the framework that we are going to analyze today is what is called the high-res, low-res spectrum. And as you can see, there are two axes where we will try and define where our students currently are and where we would like them to go and how we're going to get them there. So the first axis is what we call the high-res, low-res continuum. A low-res perspective focuses on the contours of the picture and only sees the basic outlines from a distance. The closer that students come to the picture, the clearer it becomes and can be seen in higher resolution. Once in high resolution, the students can perceive the details of the picture while being able to make more sophisticated judgments regarding that picture. The second axis is disconnected-connected and refers to the subject's feelings of personal connection with the topic of hand. So, for example, if we're talking about high-res, low-res, so here would be the bottom of the low-res spectrum, and as the picture becomes clearer, it gets closer and closer to the high-res spectrum. And same thing for connected, disconnected. Someone who's disconnected will be all the way on the left. Someone who's connected will move slowly towards the connected section. Now, when it comes to Israel education, so we can talk about students being in the 4 different quadrants seen in this slide. Many Jewish students, along with many American Jews as a whole, sadly enough, are found in the bottom left quadrant. What this means is that both their knowledge of the issues related to Israel, as well as their personal engagement with Israel, are severely limited. This decision is not always an informed decision. Sometimes it's by default. They don't have the opportunities or the tools in order to tap into what Israel means to them or what's happening in Israel. And in this quadrant, a lot of students don't have an opinion whatsoever. And you might have a number of students that are in this quadrant, and there's no question that one of the goals of Israel education is to get them out of that quadrant. Now, as we move up the low-res, high-res spectrum, what we're going to try and do is try and understand what it means to be high-res. Now, I put a picture of a woman named Sarah Sidner here. She is a CNN News correspondent who is based out of Jerusalem. Now, the reason I put her picture here is because she is very well versed in the ins and outs of Israeli politics, Israeli society, and issues relating to anything having to do with Israel. And therefore, she is on the higher part of the high-res spectrum because she really understands what's going on. On the other hand, she remains outside of the connected spectrum because she doesn't have any specific emotional engagement with Israel. I don't know her personally, but as a news correspondent, her job is not to become personally engaged with the topic that she is covering, but rather to analyze it from a cold, objective perspective. Whether or not seen as objective is a different story that goes beyond the realms of this course. So that's that's how we can define the disconnected high-res person. Now, many of our students can actually be found in the bottom right-hand corner. They are connected to Israel and will jump at any opportunity to serve on various committees, defend Israel from criticism, and visit with their families. However, their families in Israel. However, they are woefully unaware of what is actually going on in the country itself. For educators whose goal is to pass over knowledge and not simply foster connections, this level of connection is insufficient and more is required. That leads us to the Okay, so this basically is our student who is passionate about Israel will go and rally at any of the rallies that attend. But if you speak about issues relating to the 67 borders, or related to what's the connection between religion and state in Israel, or any one of a wide variety of topics that relate to Israel education, they really don't have much of an opinion because they're very much uninformed. And I'm going to take the liberty of trying to say that many of our students, if not the majority of them, are in the low-res connected spectrum. And the real question is, how do we move them from low-res up to high-res in this matter? So I would suggest that as Jewish educators, we need to first identify what quadrant our students currently occupy and what bodies, whether it be school, parents, or peers, have brought them to where they are today. The second question is where we want our students to be. What is our ultimate destination, and where do we want them to be when they step out of our class, course, activity, etc.? The last question is, how can I get my students to where I want them to go? For example, it's important to consider that if I take my students to the annual Israel Day Parade in New York, they may very well feel more connected and move up the x-axis. They may move here. However, they likely won't gain any new perspective or learn anything new from the experience and stay where they are on the y-axis. One solution may be thinking about how to prepare the students for the parade within the classroom and breaking it down with them afterwards so they can have a more comprehensive educational experience. That is the lesson for week 2. I am going to now encourage you to go back to the Moodle and check out a quick video that was made of a conference that Macomb did relating to the high-res, low-res spectrum and how people understand Israel. You'll see some of the top experts in the field discussing some of the major issues, and then you'll be able to go on and complete your assignment. And what I really am looking for is for you to really dig down and connect what's happening in your school, your own personal beliefs, to the framework that we have proposed here, and trying to understand where are my students currently, where do I want them to be, and how it is that I'm going to get them there.